whoever is, whatever time is there. Uh, Welcome to the group. I am very excited to have you here. And more excited is that I have my mentor here who I am got associated with more than 20 years experience, 20 years I'm associated with him. He is having more than 30 years of experience and work in various part of the world, UK, United Arab Emirates, some other part of the world also. Uh, and he has a vast experience into data modeling. I learned data modeling from him. He actually, um, it, we learned the data modeling from the pen and paper type of thing. Now things have got advanced and we are doing everything online. So let me introduce my mentor. He is Dinesh. Dinesh sir is having more than 30 years of experience. He has experience to banking and finance domain, retail, healthcare, the travel industry, tourism industry. So he has lot of experience and he is the right person. I have been behind him for last 2 years to teach us on data vault. He has very good experience on data vault, but he was not giving time. But fortunately, after long persuasion, he agreed this time. Hopefully, we will take the. I am also along with you. I'll be taking the session, joining the session. Also, I will try to help you out somewhere wherever you face the problem. My name is Malay. I am having more than 20 years of experience, all into data related field. I started my career as a ETL architect with Informatica. Then I joined Teradata as a Informatica developer. I worked there. I worked with Heroin as a tool. SAR taught me SQL developer wherever Heroin is not available. So I have been associated with SAR is more than 20 years. I started my career with learning with them ER modeling. Then he taught me dimension modeling. Now I will be gaining his knowledge into data vault. Coming back to data vault is in the market, and I will not take more time. I have taken more than 3 minutes. Such times is very precious. Dinesh sir, could you open and give your introduction, sir, please?
Yeah, sure, Malay. Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Dinesh, and I've been, as Malay said, that I have around 30 plus years experience in database field. So I started my career long back, around in '93. So there was no data warehouse at that time. Means at least in India it was not there. But from 2000 onwards, actively I'm in the data warehouse. So my career is like front end to back end, then data modeling, then data architecture. So I have been at the data side instead of deviating to the other applications. Mostly I've been in data side, backend and modeling on this. So as we know that, okay, now we are going for this session for data modeling. So data modeling and data architecture, these two are very correlated, because nowadays most of the companies, they prefer that you should be coming as a data architect, plus you'll be doing the data modeling. So there was a time when the people used to have like mostly ETL developers. Company used to take them as a data modeling, and I have seen in like in last 30 years, every 4 or 5 years, means you will find that, okay, people say that, oh, we don't require data model, and suddenly you find the data modeling starts into the development team. So people who are programmer, ETL developer, they start doing the data modeling, because they think what is there, it is tables. Just create the table, distribute the attributes, make the relation is done. But data modeling is beyond that. So when the problem starts, suddenly you'll find that there is a lot of requirement coming out for data modeling. So this happens every 4 or 5 years. If you see in history, in back, you'll find that this keeps happening. So that is why nowadays you see there is a lot of requirements are coming in for data modeling, because I will show that once I start the demo, I will show that how the people generally who are not expert in data, how they design the models, how they create the tables, and how they make the relation. And the people who come with the proper background as a data modeler, then how they design. Means same set of tables, same number of tables, but the relationship changes, attributes distribution changes. So that makes the difference. Because data model is a base for any application. When you find the application is successful or application is failed, you always find that, okay, at the back end, the data model is not proper. So when the data model is proper, your applications will go means it's not designed properly. Then whatever you do, whatever patchwork, application development, all these you do, it will create a problem. So it will not go very far. It's always problem starts. Especially the performance related issues comes a lot when the model is not proper. Like you might have heard about, there is like people they started during the big data time, means create a very big table, one big bar, one large table, and keep all the attributes there. So system means big data will take care of, system will take care of, no issue of performance, all those. But later gradually find that that also did not work. So people again started coming back to proper data model. So let me share the screen so that I can share the PPT and we can discuss on that.
Sushil sir can share the screen.
Yes, yes.
Oh, perfect.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So the very first thing is, what is the agenda of this demo? And it's like, so if you can see here, like data modeling, why it matters. So because most of the people, they come with a very vague idea about data modeling and say, who does the data modeling? Why data modeling is required? What is the special about the data modeling? It is just creating the tables and making the tables, or keeping the tables in particular database, distributing them. So they take it very lightly. So we need to know why data modeling is very important, why it matters. And then we have a different data modeling basically approach, or you can say methodologies. Like nowadays, when even if I go for interview, suppose, so people they like they say, okay, they start discussing about this data dimension modeling, they start discussing about this. So when I start asking them, like, what is the ER modeling? So they say, what is the ER modeling? They understand 3NF modeling, means what they understand is 3NF. But when I say what is the ER modeling, they get confused. So it happens many times. What they don't understand is the ER modeling is a data modeling approach. Within ER modeling, you have a different normalization level, like first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, BCNF, fourth, fifth. So when we talk about this 3NF is a data modeling, basically 3NF is one kind of normalization within ER modeling. So when we discuss about what is the ER modeling, what is the dimensional modeling, why data vault model. And in today's time, all these three modeling are required. So somebody who is designing, suppose a transaction system like OLTP system, then we go for ER model. But if somebody is designing your analytics, means you are generating a dashboard, BI reports, analysis, all those, then we don't use the ER modeling. Like people say, why can't you use? Because we have seen there are so many limitations. Number of tables are there, hierarchies are there, joins becomes very high, performance gets impacted. So we go for dimension modeling. So now earlier, like if you see, maybe around 5-6 years back, we used to have only two types of databases. One was like OLTP database, and another was databases. So one was for the OLTP, means transaction capturing, means whatever events are happening, capture those events data or transactions, put them in database instantly. But when it comes to analysis and reporting, we don't use OLTP because it will impact the OLTP applications. So we started shifting those data to data warehouse or data marts. Keep the historical data for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, depending upon how old data management wants to analyze. So we have these two basically databases, OLTP database and OLAP database, and then we have these two modeling approach. But if you see in the last 5-6 years, this data vault modeling has picked up very fast, because this has been introduced as a middle layer. Earlier also we had a middle layer, like you see in traditional data warehousing, we used to discuss about there should be staging layer, then there should be ED, which was based on in one approach. And then we should have a data marts, which is domain specific using the Kimball approach. That based on sometimes some people used to go for ER modeling, some people used to go for dimension modeling. So they say that if we have centralized the data for entire organization, including the current data as well as the past data, then from there we can split into different data marts based on the domain, like sales domain, HR domain, finance domain. And then people from those domain, they can connect to their data marts and analyze. So this ER means ER modeling, dimension modeling, and now we are coming to the data vault modeling. So data vault modeling basically fits in the middle, which was like enterprise data warehouse. Now, instead of enterprise data warehouse, what we are saying is let us define the enterprise data warehouse using the data vault approach, because we will discuss data vault has taken care of limitations of modeling as well as dimension modeling. So when we go for data vault modeling, you are designing basically a database system which is very flexible and very scalable. Means you keep on adding new sources, it will absorb. You don't have to change existing objects, whatever they are in the data vault, or you don't have to delete them, like relations and all those. Just keep on adding. That is the biggest advantage of data vault model. But the problem is why people they are means getting skeptical about data vault model is they think that see number of tables are so high, and whenever we do the reporting or we extract the data, it takes a lot of time. What they don't understand is purpose of data vault model is not to support your reporting or support your final consumption. Data vault is basically to keep your organization's historical data at one single place in one single format. Like earlier, we used to have a very big problem. A company has suppose 50 years data, 100 years data, and we want to analyze. So our data warehouse used to keep 10, 20 years data. How to get those remaining data which are there in the offline backup? So that was the one biggest challenge, because if you think whatever data structure we have today, for example, we have an employee table with maybe 70, 80 columns or 100 plus columns. 20, 30 years back, naturally, number of columns will not be same. So there will be like only 30, 40 columns. So it may be possible that time we have 3 tables for employee data. Now we have 2 tables for employee data. So getting those online and then integrating with the existing structure was a very tough job. And mostly it was like we used to live in the middle. Management says leave it. We will work only with 10, 20 years data. So whenever you need historical data of organization, you basically require one single format and single place, so that anytime, whenever they want to extract the data from the past, they should not be struggling with how to integrate the structure, how to integrate the data from those past. They should just connect to one database and pick the data. So the primary purpose of data vault modeling is to create a database where you keep your historical data. And that we started using a term data lake. So data lake came into picture basically.
Sir, are you sharing something? Because
Yeah.
it is only one page.
Yeah, I'm discussing only one page. Later
Okay.
I will go.
Okay. Perfect.
So point wise I have. So data vault modeling. So this will be the case. Then what is the data vault 2.0 architecture? Because our course is basically revolving around this data vault 2.0. So in data vault 1.0, it was mostly basically a modeling approach. But in data vault 2.0, they started coming with the complete package. So it is like it is architecture, modeling approach, methodology, everything they combine. So it is like a complete solution for your data storage. Then this compare normalization versus denormalization. These two terms are very common. Whenever we talk about data modeling and you go for any discussion, any interview, compulsorily they will ask what is denormalization. So this normalization, denormalization, both are required. The only thing is which database you are modeling. Is it like OLTP? Are you modeling a data vault? Or you are modeling a data warehouse or data mart? So depending upon this type of database you are modeling, you have to decide what should be the level of normalization or what should be the level of denormalization. Extreme in any case is not if you complete normalization will not, because number of tables will increase. Complete denormalization, it also will not work because number of table will decrease, but your data might become very redundant. So it is like a lot of duplicacy of data or redundant data will come. So we have to balance. And that is why you see this when it comes to, you'll find that there is no fixed formula or there is no fixed tool that, okay, if there is a banking system, I will use for all banks. It doesn't work. Depending upon the organization, business, what is their business rule. That is going to define basically how your data model is changing. So it is not like if you design data model for one bank and you replicate for other bank or third bank, it doesn't work, because business rule for each and every organization is changing. And according to business rule, your data model will change, normalization and denormalization of course techniques will change. Then what we are going to discuss is like, I will take some real, whatever projects I have done, from those projects I'm picking up some modules, and that we are going to take as use case. So it will not be like just simple things we take. I will show that here PPT that how we simple way we go. And when we add just one or two more points, it becomes complex. So that makes a difference. And then tool is there. There is another one problem. Like people think that if I know the data modeling tool, I know the data. That is very, very wrong statement. Tool is basically to help you. Means it is like if you design a diagram or any other, you will not be as effective as proper data modeling tool. So what data modeling tool does, your clerical job, means designing the diagram, all those becomes very fast. Then converting those model into a script to create the database, it takes some seconds or minutes and everything is ready. Manually, if you do, it might take 2-3 days time. Because if you have 100+ tables model and you start creating those script, SQL script for 100-200 tables, it might take a time. But with the tool, it becomes a matter of some seconds or minutes. Tool is basically to help you to reduce your clerical job. Means what? But thinking process you have to do. So tool cannot decide that, okay, if I have a two entity, should I have only 2 table, or should I have a 3 table, or it should be broken into 5-6 table? That tool cannot decide. Nowadays, people say that, okay, I'm using Anthropic, their AI tools. So if I post a table name, it gives. But the thing is, it is based on some standard approach, means whatever is found and try to integrate. But as per your organization need, whether it is going to fit, means as per your business rule or within your organization. So there has to be somebody who has to study those model which are generated by these AI tools, and then again it has to decide whether number of tables should be same or it should be reduced, means normalize or denormalize. So don't think that tool is going to do your job. Even your AI tools, it might give you 90% perfect, means data model, but the problem is that 10% which is required, changing is required, who is going to do? So somebody who knows, then only he can do. So that is the challenge. Even if you have you are using proper AI tool. And then what are the best practices like naming standard, all those things we will discuss. So a simple thing is like, what is data modeling? It is a process. So data modeling is not like any tool or any component or product. It is a process. And process of designing structured data. You have a lot of entities are there in business, and how those entities means. Generally, when we talk about the business, in business only you have 3 things are there. One is the subject, other is the process, and third is the rules. These 3 things at the business level. So whenever you interact with any business, you basically as a data modeler need to identify what are the subjects I need to touch for this particular model, what are the process which are there, and the business rule. If you are able to understand these 3 things from the business, so business means it may be the business user, or sometimes when we are working with the big project, then we have a business analyst in our team, and that fellow will interact with the business user, get the things, and he will deliver it to the data modeler. So as a data modeler, you interact with the business analyst, or you can say business expert, and from him you need to understand what are the subjects, what are the process, and what are the business. So he will prepare a BRD, business requirement document. Earlier it was a very big BRD, but nowadays since we are working in agile approach, so we design these BRDs in very small parts. So like depending upon the cycle, 2-week cycle or 4-week cycle, basically we split into module and they work. So it depends like whether you are working in agile approach or you're working in old SDLC approach. So it is basically how you structure the data, and the primary purpose of structuring the data is basically to avoid the data redundancy. That is one thing, get the better performance, and it should be scalable. Nowadays, scalability is very important, because we are seeing that companies, they are very much active They keep on adding new business. They keep on taking over the business. They merge with other business. So, and they're doing it very fast. Like every 6 months, every 1 year, every 2 year, they are doing something new. They are adding some new process. So whenever a new data source comes, is it going to break your existing database? Means data model. Suppose if I'm using EDW, a centralized data warehouse. So whatever new sources has fit in the EDW. So we know that when the things are very centralized, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to get the things. That is why nowadays decentralized approach is being used very frequently. So flexibility, scalability, these two things are very important. It is not like, okay, you design something only for a specific requirement of today. No, it will not work. It will break. So this subject, process, and rule, this is very important. And then how you convert from this business entities. Generally, we refer the subject process as an entity. Like again, it depends. If you are working in master entity or transaction entity, when you go to data mart, then sorry, data vault, then everything becomes a hub that is sub or process. Both are. But when you go to dimension model, then subjects becomes dimension and process becomes your fact. So ultimately, we are subjects rule, but depending upon the data modeling approach, different terms are used. But once you understand these three things, then like it doesn't matter data modeling approach you are using. It is just matter of what terms they are using and how they are organizing those data structure, means those subject and process. Now question next comes, why do we need a data model? Means why there is emphasis that, okay, we should have a proper data model. So thing is like, first of all, your data quality gets improved. When you have a proper data model, basically when you are loading data from source to target. So before loading, basically as a data modeler, you will be analyzing the data. But so when you do the data profiling, basically you find there are so many data which are not properly done, like some employee names or customer names are null. Some customer names are like in shortcuts, some full names, like we know master data management. So moving the data from one location to another location, we try to apply some basic data quality. And then there are, if requirement is there, we do some advanced quality. So primary purpose of data from one to another is like, let us improve the quality of the data so that data which is invalid data get removed. Completely may not be removed, but we try to reduce it as much as possible. Same is like reduce the data redundancy. So redundancy data comes like if you are going for denormalization, a lot of redundancy data will come. For example, is you add the subject data with process. So it is like you don't create a separate table for subject and process. You merge them in single. So we know that as process will happen thousands of times. So it means like each time that subject is doing the process, his detail will repeat. Like customer name you add with the order. So it is like if one customer has purchased the or has placed the order 100 times, his name will repeat 100 times. And if with name you are keeping his address also, address will repeat 100 times. So this kind of redundancy can be avoided with just simple enables better reporting, because as like I said, when your data is not repeating unnecessarily, you have distributed them under a table or file, then reports get the proper data. So it is not like they have to do a lot of process at the reporting level, like you are getting duplicate data, you need to apply, get the listing, then join with the other data after getting the thing. So these kind of unnecessary process can be avoided at the reporting level, just because you have a proper data. So improper data will create a lot of issue for reporting team. They have to do the activity. And we know that database level activity is limited, but when it comes to the front end, like you can say final consumer, those activity may be very high. Like it may be thousands of users are accessing the report. Same process, they are repeating 1,000 times unnecessarily. But if the data is proper, then those extra process can be eliminated. So reporting becomes much easier and also much faster. Performance, like it gets improved, as I said. And scalability, as I discussed earlier, it is the core. So that is why people, they say a system is good or bad, it decided by the data model. And it is not only for data. If you see anywhere in our real life, we have the same. Until the proper base is defined, whatever things we build on that base, it gets it's not proper data, or it creates a problem in the future. So same thing happens here. Like you have a proper base in the form of data model, which converts into database, and then whatever activity you do, whether you do a process like transactional process, you do reporting process, or you do machine, or whatever data mining you do. So it depends, like whether those processes will have this time and they will get proper data, or it depends upon the data model. And where data modeling is used, basically nowadays, see, there are so many new jobs have been added, like data engineering, BI development, warehousing, analytics engineering. So all these places we require a data modeler. So, and apart from that, like people who are working at the OLTP system, so like designing a application, like you see our tax in our country, we have a tax system. So nowadays, if you see, it has become very easy because no, you don't need to go to the CA. You can go to the portal and you can fill the entire tax, entire detail, and your tax calculated, you make the payment and job is done. So those systems are basically your transactional system. So somebody has to design the database for the transactional system. So there you require a data modeler. Only thing is, like for any project, number of data modelers will be very limited. Means it is not like if there are 10 programmers, you have 10 data modelers or 5 data modelers. Maybe for 10 programmer project, you require just one data modeler, and that may not be for full time. It may be for a very certain period. But data modelers are required for any project. It is required. So these are the different job profile where you require basically a data modeling. And we have different types of data models. So when you work as a data modeler, it is not just like you diagram, that's all. No, there are different ways of creating this diagram, like conceptual model, logical model, and physical model. As the name suggests, basically it captures your subject process and how they are related. So as a data modeler, when you want to start data modeling, first you need to understand what processes means this project is going to capture, what are the subjects related to the process, and how they are related. So you need to interact with the business user, and those people are not technical. So they will not understand your all these database jargons or terms. So you need to create a diagram or create a document which can be understood by the non-technical people. So that model or that diagram, what you create, for them as a conceptual model. So only you mention the subject, process, and how they are related. What type of relation is there? Like we define whether it is one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many. So 3 types of relations we discussed. Then conceptual model, once you understand, okay, you feel that, okay, now I am at the business user level, means both parties are at the same level, and they agree that, okay, as a data modeler, whatever you understood is perfect. Then you go and introduce like what are the attributes required for those subjects and process. So you identify the attributes and push them in those different subject and process. So once you come to the modeling approach, we refer them as entities. We say entities. When you go to dimensional model, then we have different terms. So entities, attributes, and relations. So you add the attributes. Like suppose if you the business user, they will say, okay, for employee or for customer, I have these 50 attributes are there. So you will put in the logical model under maybe customer or person entity. But when you go to physical model, it may be possible that these 50 attributes of a customer might split into 3 or 4 tables. So they may not remain in one single table. Because once you apply the normalization approach, 100% those 50 attributes will not remain in one single table. They will go to multiple tables. So that is why this step-by-step approach we have to follow. We cannot jump to the physical model directly. There is always a chance of mistake, and that will create a problem. When you go at the end of the project during UAT, you will find that something has come up, and then we find, okay, we need to change the model. It becomes very costly. So physical level, basically, means you convert entities to tables, attributes becomes your columns. Then you have keys are there, like primary key, foreign key, all those different data types. So you try to fix that, okay, name should be only characters, or maybe we will not allow a special character, so full name should be there. So these kind of constants you define. So one of the constant is data type itself. But apart from that, there are some user-defined constant also you can add. Like you have a primary key, foreign key, then you have a check constants, not null, null. All these are the different type of constants. Some in the same way, data type also is a constant. And then in physical model, you define like how the storage will be there, whether all this table will go in one single schema or you want to distribute them. Performance wise, whether partition should be there, in what indexing should be used, in what scenario, because it is not like you say, okay, you create index and keep it. There are index policy also, because during the different time period on those tables. So sometimes because of one set of process, we have to drop the existing index and create the other index. The process changes, new process comes, then we have to drop again the indexes and create new set of indexes. So based on the time period, like first week of the month, middle of the month, or last week of the month, or during the financial year ending, what kind of index should be there? Because requirement data accessing or data manipulation changes. So depending upon that, you have to basically keep changing the indexing. So these kind of things also should be provided by the data modeler as much he can provide. He cannot be very perfect, but he has to analyze and then this OLTP and OLAP is very common. Means for years we are discussing like OLTP and OLAP. In very simple way, you can understand is transaction processing system is a system which captures your day-to-day events. Like you see every day, we interact with so many means. So you can say like systems. Like you go to ATM machine, you go to supermarkets, you go to like hotels or so everywhere. When you do some activity, they have a system and they record your activities. Like you go to ATM machine, so you are withdrawing the money or depositing the money. So that activity detail they capture. So that we refer as a transaction. So what is a transaction? Basically, it can be one single event or it can be a group of events. So those events detail they capture. The question is why they capture? What is the use? So answer is very simple. OLTP system basically is mainly used for verification and validation. Means I did some transaction, means I withdraw the money, but some issue comes and my money has not come out. So if I go to bank or if I complain to the bank, like I initiated withdrawal process, but I did not get the money. So the very thing bank says that what is the proof that you did this transaction? So you get some detail, like you get some slip, or you tell them, okay, this was the process number. So based on that, they will check the database for that particular process number, and they will find, okay, what are the steps which were completed and where it is stopped. So like you purchase some product, and when you bring the product at home and you find that this product is not as per the quality standards, so you go back. So that fellow will say, what is the guarantee that you purchased from my place? Then you show him bill. So that bill is a proof of your transaction. So that is why these transaction data are recorded in the database system, which we refer as the OLTP database. So OLTP is a process, means it is a set of process. Wherever this data is maintained, that we refer as the OLTP database. So as soon as event completes, it should be recorded. But OLAP is a different, that is the analytical process. So again, that is a process, but purpose of this process is extract the data and do some kind of analysis, means different type of patterns you try to find out how the things are happening in the past, like week wise, month wise, quarter wise. And based on that, management people will take a decision how they should plan for the organization. Means if they want to grow the organization, they want to increase the revenue or profitability, how they do. So OLAP is a different process. OLAP does not basically manipulate your data. It is just extract the data, search for different pattern, and then take a call, okay, how to use this information or knowledge for our future planning and strategy. So in a very brief, like OLTP is your transaction system, and database is referred as OLTP database. There are many names, like they say transaction database, operational database, or like simply they say production database. So many different names are used. And OLAP is like a database which should provide the data extraction very fast. And that is why this OLAP process and OLTP process cannot work on the same database. One will suffer. If suppose you take OLTP database, OLAP will suffer because huge number of tables, then a lot of joins, data extraction will take a lot of time. it will impact the OP application because you are hitting the database and being connected for so many long time. So that is why it is decided, let us keep these two databases separate. How we model, that is one point, but first these two should be a separate database. So this OLTP and OLAP will be discussed in the detail. This is our traditional data warehouse. If you see, today we are talking about medallion approach. So we will find there is similarity, like in traditional data warehouse, what we used to have.
Excuse
Yeah.
me, I have a question. Sorry to ask you. You are in a flow. So just on the data volume point, can you just throw a little bit more light?
What
The
is
previous
specific
slide,
you want to know, like the data volume?
on the previous slide, OLTP versus OLAP. So yeah, here.
This one.
Yes. Yeah.
Data
Thank
volume
you.
is restricted in OLTP systems. So if you see, like for how long they keep the data in OLTP system, they will not keep for 10 years, 5 years, or so mostly what they try to do is reduce the volume of data as low as possible, because data volume is very high. It will take data fetch or data manipulation or data like you want to insert or update takes more time. So to keep the data volume high, because nowadays we have such a huge systems are there where means millions of users are interacting with the system at the same time. So if the volume is high, it will take more time. So basically we want to get the performance. For performance, one factor will not work. So if you try to just only work on one factor like normalization, it will not work. So how to reduce the volume of the data? So one of simple method is try to keep the data for as short as possible, means just keep for maybe 15 days, 1 month, 3 months. So earlier, if you see, earlier approach was like, let us keep for one financial year. Data should be in OLTP. So most of the banks, most of the organization, they try to keep for 1 year. So it was like 15, 20 years back, it was okay. Volume was not very high, but nowadays that 1 year also has become very, very high. So what they say is, okay, let us keep the data for 3 months, but how they decide whether it should be 3 months or 1 month. So basically it depends upon their activity. So like you see product, like if take an example of supermarket, whatever products are there, what is the basically you can say different are like if any person has come and purchased the product and he has took the product, so we say that okay, within 7 months you can, sorry, 7 days you can return. So it means whatever transaction is done in the supermarket, from customer's point of view, 7 days is enough. So if I keep 7 days data or maybe 15 days data for that customer, then it is okay, because after 7 days, if he comes, no return will be there. So we try to reduce the
I think I got
database.
the idea, because the historical data, the data volume is high. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
This is the
Okay.
point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, quick
So I was
check. We have a time limit. We have to go little bit faster
sure.
because we have a time limit, sir. Quick check.
Okay. Yeah. So this is our traditional architecture where we say that from source system, bring the data into staging area without any transformation, because multiple source systems are there. So take the data, keep in staging area. If you compare this in today's medallion approach, basically this is your bronze layer. So in bronze layer also we do the same thing, bring the data from multiple sources, whether you take the batch process or you take the streaming process, bring the data, but without any changes. Then there was a concept of EDW. So using in-one used to build a data warehouse, which used to take a lot of time. So in today's time, practically EDW is very less preferred because it requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, and nowadays clients doesn't have that much of patience, so they want quick outcome. So in EDW, we used to integrate the data from all these sources with proper transformation. So that's why you can say you have raw data, summary data, metadata. Metadata is basically data about data. And then for reporting purpose, it was like create the data marts. Before Kimball approach, it was like from warehouse itself, reporting used to be done. So it was like means user used to get exposure to all the data unnecessarily. If they are belong to sales, they are getting data. Means they are able to see the data from finance, HR, all those. So that time security of data was also not as strong as today. So they started, okay, let us build the data marts. It will give the performance as well as security, because sales data remains only in sales data mart. So sales people can work only with that database. Physically, they used to be separate. So it was, if you see, it is like a bronze layer. This is like your silver layer, and this is like your gold layer. So in today's time, what they're saying is they have changed this layer, but some part is changed. Like earlier, we used to have a data warehouse based on the dimensional model. Data marts also based on dimensional model. Some people, they used a data warehouse based on ER model, and some people use hybrid model. So this middle layer was very confusing, which modeling approach we use. Data model was very clear. It is always dimensional model, but middle layer was always confusing from data modeling and architecture point of view. Now, when we came to this medallion approach, like basically with the cloud, it came. So it is like you have sources are there, bring the data without any transformation to bronze layer, then go to silver layer. Basically, when I explain this, I always prefer silver your data lake. So whether you use a data vault modeling or don't use, but this is your data lake, means you keep complete history in such a form that it should be flexible and scalable. And the gold layer is your data marts. So here you define dimensional model so that reporting, analysis, all those data mining process can be very simplified. But there are like when I was working with PepsiCo, so there what we have done is there was a specific requirement. It was like travel expense, global travel expense analysis. So it was like this system will be used maybe once in a 2 or 3 years. That's all. So there, what we decided, we are not going to use the silver layer because this was very specific requirement. So from the bronze, directly we go to data marts. So no need of data vault. Some data which was available in the data vault, we took like around 10-15% data we use from there. But mostly all these things directly we build the data mart. So this kind of approach
Can you
also
please
is required.
explain the silver layer one more time? Because I'm not able to understand. What is it?
Silver basically is your transform data, correct? It should be very highly transformed data. And also silver layer is where you keep your historical data, means you are going to keep whatever organization has a history, maybe 10, 50, 20, 30 years, you keep in the silver layer. And structure should be in such way that whenever they need data, they should not be again going back to bronze, because bronze layer is not going to keep your data for a certain period, means it may keep more maybe 3 months, 6 months, 1 year data, not more than that. So it is like sometimes it is like once data is loaded, they remove it. So silver layer is only for current data, means you can say delta data. But when you are going for bronze layer, silver layer, you have a complete data of the organization. So
Okay.
whatever data you require for your reporting, analysis, and data mining or other process, you get it from silver layer and structure them in such way that it can be used by these tools or components very effectively.
One small question. I know we are in the so silver layer, does it store the data, history data in the raw form or in the transform form or both?
It depends. If you are using a data vault, so a data vault, we say that it is like a raw data vault and then business data vault, correct? So it means in the silver layer, you have a two schema. One schema will keep raw data vault, means raw data, and other will keep your business data, which is transform.
Okay. Okay. So silver layer, depending on the business case, can store both raw and history data. Both. Yeah. Okay. In the okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. So then we have a data modeling approach like ER modeling, data vault modeling, and dimension modeling. So as we have discussed earlier, ER modeling for OLTP, data vault modeling when you create the data lake. Or nowadays people they also so EDW, enterprise data warehouse, using data vault modeling. So whatever name you say, but if you are using data vault modeling, basically using data lake. But some people they say no, it is why we say data lake. Why don't we say data warehouse or EDW? That is okay. Naming is not. But which modeling approach you are using, that is important. It is not like you go for data lake only data. Some people are using a dimension modeling. That is okay. But you need to know what are the limitations. If I'm using a particular data modeling approach, what kind of limitations I have and what is going to create a problem in the future. Like ER modeling, I can use ER modeling for data lake, but I know that if new systems are added, it will take a lot of effort, and maybe some objects in the data lake I need to break. It means a relation has to break or a structure has to change. Then it will create a big problem. So depending upon model you are using, you need to know what are the things you are going to. Some data model will create your means it will be very quick to define the data model. Like if you are using ER model and you are expert, you will define very quickly. If you don't know a data what modeling naturally, means it is like I'm a data modeler in a company, and I have to create EDW or data lake. So, and I don't know data what modeling. So what I will suggest, let us use ER modeling or use a dimension modeling. So sometimes we suggest something based on our knowledge, our understanding. What I know, it is not proper for this particular thing, but since I don't know, so I cannot suggest that other one, because we know that, okay, if we suggest something which we don't know, what will be my position? So this also is another factor which nowadays companies are considering, means a project manager, all those they are considering. So that is why we need to know whether we use it or not. If suppose I say no, data what I don't use, so we should tell why we are not using, what is the result, and what is the impact in the future. If that is explained, then it is fine. At least user will understand, okay, what are the things I'm going to get today, and what are the things which I'm going to struggle tomorrow in future. If you say this different terms, like when we are working with ER modeling, as I said, entities, attributes, relation, coordinate. When you come to data world modeling, hub, link, satellite is. So hub is nothing but entities. Link is a relation. Satellite is giving subjective data. It means in hub and link, you don't keep the actual data. Only the business keys are there and system generated keys are there. All the actual attributes like customer. So customer ID will be part of your hub. It may be part of your link also. Generally, we don't keep. Some people, they do it. And every other attributes will go to satellite. And then keys already we know, primary foreign keys are there. Whether those keys are system generated or you take it from source, you have to decide. But generally, we prefer surrogate keys or system generated. When we come to dimension modeling, same entity, as I said, subject becomes dimension, process becomes fact. Then grain is there, like you are summarizing the data. So are you transaction level, like we say transactional fact table? So it means the way it is there in the OLTP, same way we are going to keep there. Only modeling approach is changed. But if suppose you are summarizing, then what is the summary level? Is this hour level, day level, week level? So that is referred as a grain. So that we have to define. Surrogate key is nothing but system generated keys, like primary key in dimension, and then use in the fact table as a foreign key. So instead of using the real life attribute, we try to generate. Generation also is like, are you using a sequence number? Are you using hash key? So now earlier I used to have a sequence number, but nowadays we are using only hash keys because they provide a lot of benefit over the sequence number. These are the different type of keys. When we are working as a data modeler, we deal with these type of keys. Like most of us, we know primary key, foreign key, surrogate key, candidate key. So if you see this candidate key, composite key, generally we avoid. Means as a data modeler, I don't prefer composite key. I prefer like a primary key, single attribute as a primary key that goes to the child table. There it becomes foreign key. Or if I'm using a system generated key, then we refer it as a surrogate. So it depends depending upon the data model. Some data modelers are more comfortable with using business keys, like whatever they are getting from source. They say that why to add an additional column in the table? Let me use whatever source is giving because they are already providing uniqueness. So they use it. Depends upon the data model.
Sorry, I didn't get well the meaning of the candidate key.
Candidate key basically is like you have an entity with a set of attributes where one attribute you take as a primary key because it satisfies all the requirement, like it is unique, not null. And there is another option also, means I can take, like if you take if suppose I take example of in US, we have a suppose customer is there. So there is a customer ID at the OLTP level, and also there is a social security number. So we know that social security number is must there. So I can use customer ID as a primary key, or I can use social security number if it is a compulsory. So it means there is a candidate. So one is a primary key, but alternatively, if required, I can use a social security number also as a primary. So that is referred as a candidate.
Okay. Thank you.
This is very important type of relation when you are dealing with the entities. It means subject and process are subject to subject or process to cases. So whenever you are going for relation, you have to find out very properly whether the relation is one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many. This impacts only your ER modeling. When you come to the data vault modeling, it doesn't matter because data vault modeling has assumed that everything is many-to-many relation based. So we don't worry about this type of relation. When you go to dimension modeling, there also your fact table basically takes care of a many-to-many relation with dimensions or subjects. But when you are in the ER modeling, then it is very important because based on that only number of tables will be decided. So if two entities have a relation of one-to-one, then data modeler, they decide, should I take only one table or should I keep both them in separate table? If it is one-to-many, compulsorily you have to go for two tables. So it is like one means parent and many is child. So parent detail will be in one table, child detail will be in another table. But when there is many-to-many relation, since our databases are basically RDBMS, so in RDBMS at database level, many-to-many relation is not supported. So how to deal with this? So they said, okay, you have to introduce one associate table. It means like a link table or whatever name you take, link table, bridge table, associate table. So between entity A and entity B, third entity, which is like AB, and relation should be one-to-many and many-to-one. So like you can see here, one order can have many items. One item can be under many order. So this is pure many-to-many relation. So if I'm going to relate these two entity as a table, then I have to take one more table, order item, and then only relation will be done. Same is the employee project. Employee can work on multiple project. So you have to take third table. So this for ER modeling, this is compulsory. But as I said, like in data vault, it is assumed that everything is many-to-many. In dimensional also, they assume that everything is many-to-many. And this is like, means I was saying that e-commerce, when you work, you take like simple thing, customer places order contains multiple. You go to any AI, they will give. But see the right side, I just added some more points and it becomes complex. So it is like customer places order, fine, but order may be cancelled or order may be paused. So it is like order is generated, but it is paused for some time or cancelled. Then how we handle this? Order contains multiple products, that is fine. But payment process, you can see that payment has so many things are there. Nowadays, you go online payment, they added so many things. So how to get it? If suppose it includes wallet money, so from where we'll get as wallet money? So as a data modeler, you have to think, is it going to be a separate table or it is going to be a column in some existing table? So you have to visualize. So somebody will say that, no, wallet maintenance is not your part. You are a data modeler for only this process. Forget about wallet. But as a data modeler, I need to know from where I will get this wallet money during the payment, how I get. So if they say, okay, there will be one table, from there you will get it. So that is fine. So you have to show that table in your data model as external table. So it is means how you look at the process and how actually they are. There is a wide gap. So when we are learning the things, we need to basically include something which makes your data modeling a bit complicated. So you have to go through the process, how to do this. Then only you will understand proper. Otherwise, what happens? We do the simple data modeling, and when we go to the job, and then you'll find that scenario is very different, means it is completely different, and then you struggle. So it is better that before we go to that, if suppose we are claiming a experience of 10 years or more, because we are working as a developer or programmer or any other role, and suddenly we started adding our data modeling in profile, then how you justify that? So you have to take some complex process also and make it complicated things as a data modeler, practice it so that you try to get so many different scenarios. And as a data modeler, you will find that when you work on 2 or 3 projects, you'll find that same thing I'm doing it again and again. So it becomes very repetitive. But those first 2-3 projects scenario makes you a proper. So how you get that. That is important. So here I'm trying to show, like, see, in business, customer, product is subject, rest are process. But the same thing here becomes master entity, transaction entity. You might have heard this master transaction, and then there is one more term we use in ER, reference master, which is nothing but master to master. When you go to data vault, everything is hub, whether it is subject or process, everything is hub. When you go to a dimensional model, subjects are dimension, process are fact. So once you learn from business point of view, how the things are looked at the business level and how these different data approach, they are defining those subjects and process and relation, then it becomes much easier to understand the data model. These are the just attributes. We'll skip that. And as I explained earlier, how many to many are handled. So you can see this in ER model, we use this as an associate table. In the dimension modeling, fact tables are basically you're taking care of many to many relation. One term is there in the dimension modeling. One is a fact table, other is referred as a factless fact table. Means there is no process, only subjects are linked. So generally what we do is in ER, these subjects are defined as a hierarchy, like country, below country will have a state, below state, city, city to area. So that will be ER. So it is a parent, child, parent, child, parent, child. But in the dimension modeling, we say that when we are using a star schema, we don't define tables. So how we define these 4 objects? So it is like you take one more fact table, but this is referred as a factless fact table. That means only the relation keys are there, or foreign keys are there, but there is no actual fact data, means numeric data which are used for calculation of this. In fact table, you have a foreign keys plus measures or facts. So that is the difference between fact table and factless fact table. When you go to data vault, as I said, these links are nothing but they take care of many to many relation, like customer order or product order, you take care. There is, like in data vault modeling, you don't consider one-to-one, one-to-many. Everything is captured by link. Whatever is type of relation, it will take. This is the ER diagram, like for the whatever example I've taken. So like when people are not a very good data modeler, or they will define, they say, see, customer makes the order or places the order, customer makes the payment, customer gets the dispatch, customer returns the product, customer gets the refund. So everything is related to customer. So we say that, okay, relate them. But actually, when you go in a proper way, you'll find, like, you come to the last, customer places the order. Payment is by the customer, but it is against order. It is not like customer will give the payment without order. So it means payment has dependency on order. So some people, what they do is, you must have seen that, what they do is they relate customer with the payment also. They say that, see, payment is against order, but payment is by customer. So there should be relation. What they don't understand is within the order, you have a customer ID also. So it means order ID as well as customer ID. So both are there. So you don't have to relate the payment with the customer directly, because if you want the customer detail, you can go through this hierarchy. Means you can include the payment, order, and customer, and you get all the detail. Dispatch and payment. If you see in the, sometimes dispatch is done without payment, like cash delivery. Sometimes it is done and then dispatch. So here we'll find that dispatch does not depend upon payment. So it is like dispatch depends on order. Whatever is order, dispatch should be there, but it is not dependent on payment. That is why order dispatch is related, not with the payment. Return will be always against dispatch. So that is why you'll find dispatch and return relation is there. Refund is against the return. So until you understand the business process and the dependency, you will do this kind of mistake. Means everything is related, and then you define the table and make the relation, becomes a problem. Now, if you explore this again, here what we find, order product has many to many relations. So this is fine. Dispatch detail. Now, why I'm having this dispatch detail? Because one dispatch can have multiple product, and one product can have multiple dispatch. It is like I order for, suppose, 100 chairs, and they say that, okay, 50 chairs will dispatch today and 50 will dispatch maybe tomorrow or next week. So it means against one order product, you have a 2 dispatch. So becomes many to many relation. So we have to use this table. So this we need to explore, and we need to check with the business user. So it is not like I think doesn't work. If you think something, You go and explain to the business user and get their understanding whether they agree or not. If they say no, in our case, we only go for one dispatch. So if they are very clear, then one-to-many relation, then you didn't tell. But you have to check. Generally, what I do is today it may be one-to-many, but is there a possibility that in future there may be one single order product? If he says, yeah, maybe, it means I have to go for this too. So it is like as a data modeler, you have to check for futures also. It should not be like, okay, today he says 1-to-1, let me create one single table, one-to-many, two table. You need to check what happens in the future because you are designing this data model or system not for 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. Business people, they say, I will use it for quite a long time, maybe 5 years, 10 years. So, and 5-10 years will not be static business. There will be dynamic changes will happening. So we have to think about when we go for many-to-many relation, we are capturing all the possibilities of relationship. Only thing is number of tables are increasing naturally. If number of tables are increasing, you need more time for data modeling. Application developer will need more time. Testing will require more time. So sometimes we do this denormalization because of budget also, because of time factor also. So as a data modeler, you can't say, no, I will design a very scalable or flexible. No, your project manager will tell this is the budget, this is the time period. Within this, we have to complete all the process. Then you take a call, okay, how I should design the data model. So that also is one factor which data modeler needs to complete. This is how we do in data watt modeling. You can see generally in data watt modeling, the color coding is defined, and it is like initial they have said that okay, all the hubs should be in blue color, link should be in like orange color or whatever light red color, and then yellow color is for satellite. So if you see this, it looks very similar to like a star model because data vault model is sometimes referred as a hybrid of year model and dimensional models. So when you do something like this, it is like a star schema and also table hierarchy is there. So it is like a year model, but this is not a proper design. Means I have done this just for showing purpose, but this is not proper because subjects, all the process are linked by one single link table. Tomorrow, if one process comes, then what we do? How we include that? How we integrate that? Is it like same table? I add one more column. If that is there, then it will create a problem. Or I need to create one more link table. So then question will come. For 4 processes, you used one link table. For 5th, you are using one more link table. So that is why we have to take a proper call during the modeling. So like this. Using whatever subjects are related to order process, we define, then dispatch process means link for dispatch process, return, refund. So this is the way you can see there's number of tables in the data vault modeling is increasing. This is another way, means using the proper dependency we have defined. So when you are working as a data model, sometimes what we do is we define a data model and then we rework on that. So rework is very important. And when we do the rework, we'll find that, oh, we have to take care of this also, or this is better approach. So it should not be like you design one model and then go ahead, check and do reverse process with what is the problem here? Is there any issue? Scalability is compromised or what? And then you'll find, okay, let me take in other way. Try to understand again, means how these subjects are related, how these process and subjects are related, how the process and process are related. So all those you consider, and this is the way, new way of making the relation. So it is a recurring process, means until you are satisfied, then keep on working.
I have a quick question. So
Yes.
in case there is a, let's say you have this return refund, right? Suppose another new variation comes wherein like a order can be instead of return or refund, let's say it's get lost during there is a chance that the order gets lost, right? Somewhere someone might have stolen it or somewhere. Then how do you introduce that entity? Do you introduce one more variable for this order? How do you account for that in case something new comes up?
So suppose if you say it is lost, so what is lost means dispatch is done, correct?
Yes.
So once the dispatch is done,
So on the way
now
of transaction to delivery, during delivery, something it gets lost, right? So how does that
that is why
can,
one simple method is like in the dispatch, like you have a dispatch and item. So suppose the one dispatch has 3 items, one item is lost. So one simple way is in that entity itself or table itself, you add one column. What is the status? Generally, we keep this dispatch status, correct? Like dispatch status is under process. Sometimes they say completed, means once it is done, they say completed. Or if it is in process, or if it is lost. So there you keep the lost. Now you said it is lost, but after lost, what happens? That also is important, correct? Means company says dispatch is lost, means product which is dispatched is lost. But what is the remedy for the client, means customer? Is it like who is going to bear the cost of the lost? Is it the company or is it the customer?
yeah, company?
So if
Because
company is
customer,
going, so if company is going to bear the cost, that means whatever product is lost, he has to refund it, correct? That money.
right?
So that last product refund should be there, but there is no return. So if you
Correct.
say in this model, we are saying that dispatch goes to return. If return is done, then but you came with one more. Now we need to make the change because refund is not based on return only. Refund sometimes is based on dispatch. So it means this has to be, and it should be related to the dispatch. So dispatch return, dispatch refund. That is why business rule is important. Yeah.
So in case I need to introduce last, then there will be one more, say L underscore last, and that will be included, linked with the dispatch, right?
That way
And
also
then
you can do. But otherwise, what I will do is in dispatch itself, there is a status column, and there I will say lost. And against that, I will go for refund. So I will not introduce maybe one more table. What you said, you introduce one more table lost. If you introduce lost, then it is fine. Refund will be related to that also, correct? Return and loss. So that is why it depends on the data modeler, whether he goes for one additional column or he goes for one additional table or maybe more.
Okay, got it. Okay, and this is called as link, right? This is called as link.
Yeah, this is link. Yeah, whatever is in orange color, it is link. That is why naming also is always we define like I take H underscore, H for hub, L for link, and S for satellite. Some people they say they use completely what hub underscore, L link underscore, sat underscore. So, but this is compulsory. Prefix should be there. So in data world, they are very clearly defined. Every table, whatever means every object, whatever you take, color should be there and prefix should be there. It makes very easy to learn. Because you see the model by seeing this yellow color, you say, okay, these many satellites are there, these many hubs are there. But when you go for this like previous approach, it is very tough to identify what is the master table. I need to read the names. Okay, customer is a subject, so it is master table. Product is subject, is master table. Order is a process, so it's transaction table. So with the color coding, it becomes much easier to easily understand.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have another question. I'm still struggling to know, like, how am I sure that, how can I boldly say that order is the link, customer is the hub? Like, how are you able to identify, okay, this one is hub, this one is link, this one is satellite?
Yes, that is why. So when you take the business, so in business, I said there are subjects and process, correct?
Yeah.
So whatever subjects are there, we take them up. That is very clear. Subjects will never be linked.
Okay.
But when it comes to process, what happens? Sometimes we use the process as a link. Sometimes what happens? We take the process also as a hub and we introduce a dummy table, link dummy table to relate the subjects and process. So the thing is like how we take this call, whether I should define the process as a hub or should I take the process as a link? So it depends again, means some data modeler, what they do is they say that, no, I will take always I will take link table as a dummy table. So I will take a subject and process all as a hub and link table will be there. There is certain advantage of that approach, but number of tables will increase. Means when your numbers are increasing, then you will avoid that approach. But one thing what I said, when you are working at the data vault modeling, data lake, you should not be concerned about the number of tables. If your concern is number of tables are increasing, then you are not designing a data. You are basically keeping in mind that I will do reporting from here. The time you start thinking reporting from data vault or data lake, then your model is gone. You will start mixing this ER modeling, dimension modeling, and data vault model. So data vault is only for storage of data. That's it. It should not be for any kind of final consumption. Means consumption at the end level should not be done from the data vault or data lake. So number of if somebody is worried about number of table is in, and that is a very wrong worry. Should never be there. Like during data browsing, most of the earlier, 25 years back, people say that no, you take a lot of space. So I used to tell very clearly, if the storage space is your concern, then you don't go for data warehouse. That means you are not fit for data warehouse. Because storage space is very cheap. So that you should not worry about that.
Yeah.
You should worry about the performance, correct?
Yeah. Dinesh, Pawan here. I have wondered. See, for example, once I joined a organization, let us assume so existing data vault is not performing good. Like so, how to find that what is causing for that one? For example, a query is performing bad, so we are having the experiment plan. Like that, are there any parameters to check? Like if you check these parameters, based on that one, we can say this data vault design is the correct or not. That is one thing. And the second thing, in course, are you going to teach even how to deploy from the dev to prod, that and that? So these are my couple of questions. Yes, thank you.
So that is why for this, there are different ways. Like I gave example when I was working for Wipro, we were working on the NSC project. So data modeling was done by the development team. So they created a lot of tables and used to take plenty of time, means nearly half an hour for generating one report. So I joined as a data modeler, but they pushed me in the performance tuning because I was good for Oracle database they were using. It is just 3 years back. So there, how I did is the performance tuning because I cannot change the model. The application, they just completed the development of application. So they said that at data model level, we cannot change anything. It was very clear. So there, our approach was, okay, how to do the performance tuning at the database level. So first thing is like basic approach, we say, let us see the indexes which are properly are created or not. So we checked all the query which they are using. Wherever the index was not found for those join columns or filter columns, we created. Then we'll find, okay, some improvement has come. Then after that, what we do, we said, okay, data we are using for quite a long time, means it was like data was there for 1 year, 3 years or 2 years. So we said, okay, most of the reports which are using the data for how long? So we try to create the partitioning of table. So we got some more. Then there is a feature in Oracle database server. They have a memory, means it is like in-memory approach. So apart from the whatever Oracle base memory they use for, apart from that, they say you can create in-memory and whatever tables you use frequently, especially the big table, you can cache it there and then use it. So we use that also. We got good performance from there. Apart from that, like some queries were there, they were using the joins. So like tables are.
Dinesh, my actually see that is basically you are talking about the OLTP like, but in case of let us assume your manager says that one. So I don't want to do any changes to database level. I'm absolutely fine changing the entire data vault, not OLTP system. So if you are given a bad performing data vault, how to find like it is a bad data vault and what are the parameters do we need to check? Yes, this is the to certify. Yes, this is the bad data vault design.
But
and
from performance point of view, correct?
Yeah, not at a database level. Yeah, I understood database level. Okay, without touching data vault, we can do certain things at a database level. But your manager says, I don't want to do anything at a database level. I want to redesign my existing data vault to perform better. So that case, like how to find like what are the parameters do we need to check? Yeah, based on this, it is the bad. So how to design? So are you going to teach that one? Are you going to provide use cases such a way that
Yes.
providing one data more
See, that is why. So like that is if you see here, I have given this 3 approach, correct? So why I given this 3 approach? Because here I'm showing you how a design can be very means different way. It can impact the, now if you see, if I ask whether this will be better from performance point of view or this will be better. Yeah, Pawan, but just by seeing this model, if I ask performance will be better here, means when you are fetching the data from here, this is going to be fast, this is going to be fast.
So where tables are less, it is going to be because you are going to avoid the join condition. That way you are saying, correct?
Yeah, that is a simple way. Means if number of tables are less, joins will be less, so fetch will be fast. So that is correct also.
But let us assume there are less tables only, but they are holding huge data. Still, we need to join those two tables. So again, you are going to think in database standpoint or redesign of the data vault.
No. Again, so if you say that data fetch is taking a lot of time, now my question is it from reporting point of view? If yes, then what we suggest, see your data model might be correct, but since because of huge volume of data, it's taking more time. So as per the reporting requirement or as per the end user consumption requirement, you prepare your data marts. Means it is like you have to create another database based on the dimensional model. There you integrate these data in few number of tables, and from there let them do the reporting or analysis whatever they require. That is one way, correct?
Yeah. But you mentioned data vault is not meant for the reporting.
No.
So that is the right.
That is the yes.
That is the case. Then I should not take reporting performance into consideration to say data vault is whether good or bad. So that is the case. Yeah, that is the case. Then what are the things I need to take into consideration if data vault is designed proper or not?
So that is why, means if you see, remember this bronze layer, silver layer and gold layer we discussed, correct? So if you see, the silver layer is your data vault and gold layer is where you basically define the data which will be used by the end users or end consumptions. So that is, if somebody is going to work with the data vault for reporting, analytics, all those, 100% it will be slow because of the volume of data, structure of the data. So we should not suggest them. If suppose somebody says, I'm doing reporting from data vault and it is very slow, simple answer is, why you are doing reporting from there? You have to bring the data from data vault to data marts or data warehouse. This is the dimension model. And from there you do the reporting. Or there is a concept of one big table. Like people, what they do is, suppose if my report is using 4 dimension and one fact, one process data, I can say, okay, I will club all these in one single table, big table, and give it to you. Do the reporting from there. It will be very fast because you don't have to go for joins or all those, just filter. And then I can do the partition on the table. It will be much faster. So different ways are there, different solutions are there. So depending upon until you know the requirement, you cannot give the proper solution. We will discuss all these things. That is why performance tuning is one part of our data modeling. As a data modeler, you just can't create the model and go away. That will not work. You have, when you are doing the modeling, you have to take care of performance tuning. And performance tuning starts from architecture. So if the architecture itself is not correct, then you will be struggling. I mean, suppose somebody says, I will, from the data vault, I will do all the reporting analysis. It means architecture itself is wrong. It is not correct. The person who has done the architecture, he has done the mistake. Then data model cannot change because he's working below him. So architect.
Dinesh, sorry. Actually,
Yeah.
I understood that your point. Now let us, because what I'm trying to say, let us assume reports are not generating based on the data vault. Okay, clearly they are generating their reports from the data mart only. So keep that part aside. Let us assume data vault now no report is generating based on the data vault, but still data vault is having the limited tables and it is not performing good. So then how to find what are the causing for the data vault is performing bad? That is my question.
Just to add up Pawan's question, means he just wanted to maybe know that what are all those parameters like to check that my data vault is the proper or not, like those kind of things, right, Pawan? That's
yeah, correct. So let us assume they are not generating reports from the data vault. They are generating from the data mart.
Okay, so I got it. Let me phrase. So basically, so it is like, and that is why this business process you need to basically take into consideration. So like we are going to consider what are the subjects are there, what are the processes are there, how the subject and process. The first parameter is you need to recheck those subjects and process and their relationship, dependency. How this relationship is defined. Like if you remember, I show here that, okay, all this subject process, I'm using one relation. This is one bad approach, because when I keep on adding new process, then it is like I have to keep on adding a new maybe link tables. I will add in the other additional column in this link table. So it will, so you have to see the dependency, how the things are related. Like customer order, return, product, all these are not related at the same time, correct? It is like one process is complete, then second process comes into picture. So that is one parameter you need to consider. What is the sequence of these subjects and the process, how they are related? That is one thing. Second thing is sometimes what happens, if you see these satellite tables, like product. So there are some properties which are related to order and product both. Like for example, quantity, order, rate, discount. Now, what other people I have seen, what they do is they don't this satellite table for a link. What they do is that detail they keep at the order level. So at the order satellite itself, they are adding quantity, order, rate, all those things. So this becomes a bad design, because quantity, rate, discount is not dependent on order only. It is dependent upon order plus product, both. So now my question will be, why you are keeping at the order level? Why not at the product level? Because quantity belongs to both order as well as product. So if you see this second part, means second parameter is like whatever satellite tables are designed, whether those satellite tables attributes really belongs to that particular hub or it belongs to some other also. If it belongs to some other, then you have to reconsider and redesign, because it is not a, because if I'm getting, suppose somebody says, okay, for this particular order, how many products, what is their quantity? I have to go to 1, 2, 3 table. And here, if I'm keeping here, I just pick up from there itself, quantity, rate, discount, whatever I require for that particular order and product. If I need their master like name and all those, then I will go to this satellite. Otherwise, from there itself, I can keep. I suppose if I have some denormalization, I'm keeping here like product ID as well as order ID as a reference key, not as a link. Directly I can go to satellite table. So there are approach like normalization, denormalization, everywhere we use. So it is like when you know the business process and the subjects and process with their dependency, according to that you define the model. So parameters are there, like how the relations are defined, where you keep the satellite table. Because here, if you see, it is not like many objects are there. So only thing is how you distribute the attributes, whether they are belongs to that.
We are at a time, sir. We need
Okay.
to complete.
Yeah,
It is one. Yeah, maybe Pawan, we can discuss this one during the class, because
Yeah, that's fine.
here
That's fine. No, no. My
not.
intention is, are you going to teach
Wait,
that
wait,
one
wait. Let me
also?
complete. Let me complete, Pawan. Don't jump into
Discuss,
conclusion.
Pawan. It is not, because
What
here
I'm
I have
saying is,
limited time. No, Malay, that is fine. I think that is fine. Pawan, doubts are okay, because when we do the modeling, this performance nowadays has become very compulsory requirement. So we have to discuss on that. Okay,
no,
Pawan.
I'm not saying that we are not discussing. Here, the time limit is less. Sorry,
No.
what time limit is less, and already we have 1.5 hours almost going to complete.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
just quickly.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
So this is the dimensional modeling already we have discussed. And why normalization? What is the advantage of normalization? Like eliminates redundancy, improves consistency, prevent the data anomalies, data integrity. All these things we are learning, means listening for quite a long time. So it is same thing. Whatever we have discussed during ER modeling, same thing. Dimension modeling, same thing. Data world. So this is the primary purpose of normalization. And then we have 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. This is part of your. So in ER modeling, how you normalize the data. So different layers are there, or levels are there. First normal form, second normal form, third normal form. And then we have a BCNF. So basically each normalization avoids the data consistency. So, but only thing is, whenever you keep on going to the different levels of normalization, number of tables will increase. So that is why we cannot go for like complete normalization, and we cannot go for complete denormalization. So generally my approach of teaching is that I teach this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 also I tell, means what is the things for 4 and 5, and then how we denormalize. When we design any OLTP system, we go up to three normal form, but normal not 100%. Again, we do the denormalization. So normalization and then denormalization. So there are two things. Do the denormalization without knowing the normalization, it is a mistake. Means it is just guesswork. But when you do the normalization, means denormalization after knowing the normalization, then it is a proper denormalization. So anybody who wants to denormalize the data model, he first know the normalization, normalize the database, means model, and then you denormalize. It is like you start merging the columns, simple way, 2-3 columns in one single column, very basic denormalization. 2-3 tables you merge into one single table, again very basic denormalization. But you should know when you are merging two tables into one table, what benefit you will get, maybe performance. But what is the drawback? Might be scalability will be a problem in future. Or data duplicate columns are repeating, means 2-3 columns are data will be repeating or null will be there. So you should know whenever you denormalize, what is the benefit you are going to get and what is the problems you are going to face or in the current. So we discuss 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 also, and then we discuss how the denormalization is done. But since our this course is basically for data vault modeling, so naturally I will not be spending a lot of time on this normalization and denormalization, but basic concepts I'll be providing. And then we have like best practices so that we follow.
In which tool you are going to teach this one? Sorry if I missed that one. If you already
we'll be using Erwin basically, but the problem go to the client level. Most of the client they don't purchase Erwin. Means I'm talking about mid-level clients. They say that why should I spend means this much of amount for a tool which is only used for few times selected period. So they say that free tool. So if that is the case, then we have a different like Oracle data modeler is there you can use. Nowadays there is a draw.io, but the problem is when we use Erwin or Erwin type of tool, we save a lot of time, which client don't understand. So they say that, okay, like I have faced this issue. Okay, if suppose Erwin we are not using and we are using Oracle data modeler, how much time you will save it for me? So if I say, okay, at least 1 or 2 weeks I will save. They say take 2 weeks, it doesn't matter. It's cheaper than what is the cost of Erwin. So we do this like Erwin I have used with many clients, but most of the recent time I find that they don't invest on the modeling tool because Erwin is a bit costly. They charge high. So they say use the free tool. So you should be ready for any data modeling tool. So basic feature of a data modeling tool will be there, but some advanced feature will be the difference. So you cannot be rigid like only I will use only Erwin. Depending upon the client, which tool they provide, you have to work. And it doesn't take much time switching from one data modeling tool to another. Just one day you will know all those basic things. We'll be showing you example with Erwin.
Same time next class, same time will be starting.
Sorry?
Next session will be same time, Saturday.
That Malay will tell you.
Okay.
It will be tomorrow. Next class will be tomorrow, Sunday.
Yeah, this is fine. So I think I'm at the end of this. So at the end of completion, basically, you will understand the ER modeling in proper, means what is the ER model, how to read those tables. But as I said, our emphasis is on the data vault. So you should be able to design a proper data lake using the data vault modeling and data mart with the dimension modeling. So these two are our core area. And we'll be taking the example from the project which I have worked. So instead of using this means normal retail, all those, I will be using like, as I said, global travel expenses. So that kind of things I'll be using. Yeah, Malay, you can take over.
Dinesh, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like you mentioned, right, the raw vault and business vault will be in the silver layer, but usually bronze layer will be having the historical data, right?
No, bronze layer, we don't keep historical data because it is, see, in the bronze layer, what we do is just bring the data from sources and keep it. So that is not the right place. They might keep for maybe 6 months, 1 year, but generally even I don't say that you keep, because when you are doing the transformation loading into silver layer, which is your complete data repository, means including history, why you keep in the bronze layer? Specific purpose.
Okay. You meant to say cleansed historical data in raw vault?
No, a raw vault will have a raw data, whatever, in only format. But when you go to the business vault, all this cleansing and everything, transformation, correct? So that is why my thing is very simple. When already in the silver layer you have raw data, means transaction data as it is, only with the model change, and also business. So why you keep again historical data in bronze? Doesn't make any sense.
Oh, okay. So another question is, like, we have 3 components in this, right? Hub, satellite, and link. So the satellite will be having the even more granular data. Is my understanding correct?
No, satellite is where all descriptive data will be in the satellite. Hub and link will have only the keys, business key. That's all. Means it is like just foreign key. Okay. So apart from else, like suppose take example of customer. Customer ID is your business key. That will be in the hub. But rest of the attributes, whatever 200-300 attributes are there, they will be distributed in satellite. And satellite is not like only one satellite. There may be multiple satellite for one particular hub. Like customer hub is there. You can keep personal data in one satellite, financial data in second satellite, maybe like a distribution of satellite also will be there.
So basically, instead of in one table, you're distributing those attributes across multiple satellites. Is it understandable?
Yeah. You have to take, because like you take example of customer personal data and address data. Generally, one customer will have multiple address, correct? So you can't club them with the personal data. Data redundancy will be there.
And what does the link do here in between then?
Sorry?
What is the role link playing here between the hub and satellite?
Link is linking basically your hub with another.
Sir, we will cover in class if I say.
No. It's like,
Kalyan, please understand there are, let me complete, give me a second. There are people who have not knowing data vault also. So they might get confused. So let's go with a flow. My request to you is actually.
I wasn't clear there. So I didn't want to interrupt in the class. So we winded up all the slides, right? So thought of checking. Oh, okay. Sure. As you.
Yeah, the flow is that the other people will be not comfortable. Some people are don't exposure to data vault also. So the here what happened is that sir has started from, if you see OLTP, right? From there he has moved to OLAP. From OLAP there are 2-3 part, medallion architect, as well as our data vault. All these things you will be covering gradually. So we can cover that one in that part. So what happened is that if you keep on asking, there are people who it is there for late for them. So I just wanted to finish on time. Okay, please.
Yeah, Malay, I understand, but I was just seeking clarity instead of interrupting in between the sessions. So hope you understand this point as well.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, sir, could you go back 2 slide, please? One more slide. One more slide. Yeah. Then go forward. Where your work is over after that.
Here?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. I know some people have a Saturday work and some people have prior engagement on the thing. Still, they could make out. I just wanted to finish on time so that people can go on their own planned things, so that I should not take your time on weekend. So if you see Notcell, this is actually, if you see your flyer, here we are most of the thing we are targeting here is data vault. But don't think that we will be covering data vault as sir covered. We will be covering normalization up to certain level, and then when we will be moving to medallion architecture is another thing. Will be talking about the dimension thing, that is another thing. and data vault is another thing that is the main cost. What happened is that why I have asked sir for all these things. I'm into the market. I am seeing the demands, and most of the people are asking about, have you know data vault 2.0? So you should confidently tell them, I know 2.0. I am very comfortable with that. And sir, as you see, I have given you 45 minutes, sir. Sir has covered 1.5 hour. So he will be covering everything details. Rest assured, 18 hours it is mentioned. I am giving you from my past experience. 18 hours will be more than that. He will cover more than 18 hours. So he will not leave a single topic or single session without answering your query. Even if it is required extending the session, we'll have a special session for you. We'll arrange that session. Mind my word, we will be trying to cover everything. So just like in a demo session, we will not leave you alone. Like in all the sessions, we'll be answering all your queries, all your plus we have projects. So we will make sure that you understand the project. You should be comfortable handling the questions. Everything is there. On the top of that, some people, like we are experienced people, there are typical SQL questions which I face in my interviews. I will try to handle it in SQL Mastery Starter Kit. It is actually a beautiful process where you will know what are the typical SQL questions. For example, I will give an example. Gap on Iceland is there is a problem. There is few other problem which you need to know, and if you tell that one to your interviewer, he will be quite impressed, telling him that this is the thing this guy is well exposed to. That is part one. This is free, no charge for that. The other part is the Sushil is here. Sushil is there, right?
Yes, yes, Mohan.
So Sushil will be covering a DBT part so that you also know a little bit of DBT, how the DBT comes into the market and where it applies. And he will have a one session on that. Sushil will be taking DBT on the data mart, right?
Yes, data mart session.
And you will be showing the example, right?
Yes, one project is there. I'll show how the things are there.
So it is what I want to make sure is that, so even if you are demo session you have missed, or demo session nothing has been answered, or some of the things which are not clear, we will not leave you. We will not leave you. Believe me, we are not here just to extract money from you. Okay, so be rest assured. So all things will be covered. Now, I told you about sir's experience. I must tell you there is another person who is have a very good DBT experience. He is more than 12 years experience, and he has a lot of exposure to DBT and DBT related queries. He will try to handle that one in his session. He is having more than 12 years experience. I myself has more than 19 years of experience. Sir has more than 30 years experience. And probably you don't know, sir has handled the stock exchange also. So think about the volume of the data, speed of data, how a single, sir, correct me, if there is a single fault, it will create a system will go wayward, right, sir?
Yeah, it happens. It very frequently
Yeah.
happens.
So sir has beautiful experience, everything he is covered. So we'll be covering everything. So rest assured, if it is not answered here, what is data vault, where it is comes into the market, what is hub, what is satellite, sir will teach you everything, explain you everything. Now, sir, could you go back to the next slide, please?
That market trend also can see.
Okay, sir, stay here. So as I told you, the additional benefit is free SQL Master Starter Kit. It will be there. DBT session, golden layer, Sushil will take care. And the most important part, the cost of this course is Data Architect Interview Preparation and Data World 2.0 Capstone Project, which sir is going to show you end-to-end project. Okay, so these are 18 hours. We try to club it, but if it is extended for few hours, we'll be implementing it. We'll be not charging you anything. We want you people to face the interview and clear the interview and get a good salary. That's the only thing our aim is. Sir, please, next slide, please. Susil, take over here. I will, in the end, I will show you how the market trend is.
Yes, so for this payment session, if you can see that one QR code is here, that is available for Indian people. You can say that UPI. Okay, so as you mentioned that we are having both Indian payment session as well as that international payment. Okay, those who are going to have that international payment, they can go with this top IO as well, right? As we are having charging like 5001, you can pay here in the UPI. You can scan it and pay. As well as that for this top met, we are having 6K around Indian price, we can say, and it will convert as per their local currency, if it is euro or dollar. Okay, so that you can go for this as well.
I'll just add here, I have not seen where Indian price and the foreign price are same. So almost same. Only thing is the top met is charging the commission part. That's the reason we are charging 6,000 rupees. Correct, Susil?
Yes, they are charging 10% their service charge plus around 2.5 to 3% as the payment gateway charges.
So that's the reason we are charging 6,000. Otherwise, and if you are in India or if you can pay by India, pay by somebody in India, you can pay it. So use that QR code. This QR code you can use. You can pay that one. And if you are international, you cannot use the UPI payment or anything. Use this one. So this is for my request. If you can pay by India, you will save something around 1,000 rupees. You don't have to pay to Topmate or anybody any charges. You can save 1,000 rupees. Now I will show you some interesting thing.
Yeah, one more thing
yeah.
I just want to add.
Yeah.
If you are not available in our current group, okay, so many people have joined from the LinkedIn directly. Okay, so they can join as well. I have pinged in that chat window on WhatsApp group. Okay, so here also you can join for further questions if you have anything.
And Susil, could you also share our support number, WhatsApp number, please?
Yes, yes, yes. Let me add that as well.
And Susil, could you take the screenshot of this one and put it in chat? Is that possible?
This particular, let me try.
Yeah, yeah. And once you are done, could you, there is a sensitive information I want to show. So you need to stop the recording, and I request to the people, don't take the pictures. It is my personal data. So
it's not possible. Those who are interested to pay, they can do one thing. If just take a photo of this, they can try after
okay,
this
okay.
also.
I'll keep it one more minute probably.
Yes.
And what is the last date, Sushil, for the payment?
Sorry, last
date for payment. When the class will, last date for payment.
By today you did try to make the payment, because tomorrow we are having the next class that is for the paid members or not. Okay, so try to please make sure today by
What is the
EOD.
class time, Sushil? Tomorrow, what time session will be?
Same time, 6 p.m. it will start Indian.
6 to 8, correct?
6 to 7:30 we will be covering your
7:30.
session, sir. 1.5 hour. Half
Okay.
hour we will be reserving it for my SQL thing or your question to depend upon the priority. And also there will be one session on data engineering, interview clearation, data architect, what are the expected questions, so that if you are in the market, at least in India, you will be able to clear it. So those are the free gift. We are not charging anything. You can invite your friends and your near and dear for those training. Those session means the data engineering session as well as data architect session. What are the questions you will expect? I want all the people to clear the interview and get a good salary. That is my only aim. I am not a salesperson. I am a learner like you. So I just wanted you people to get maximum benefit of sir. So I don't know when sir will give us the next time. I have been running him for more than 2 years, and somehow I get the time this time. So next time I'm not sure, but I will try to get sir next time. So, but I cannot confirm at this moment the sir will give when the next time. So
Yeah, we
use
can
this
say
time if it
that
is possible.
we are the privileged to have the sir's time, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
yes,
yeah. Appreciate. I cannot agree more. Sir is actually very precious. 30 years experience, all the knowledge he has given. He has trained more than 30-40,000 people on data modeling. Plus, everywhere he goes, actually, he train on heroin. For sure, I know, sir always train in heroin, always in data modeling, all these things. So if people have taken the screenshot, can I show my sensitive information? I need yes or no.
Mele, just a second. Can I talk for a
Yes, sir.
moment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. First, thank you very much. It was really very impressive. And Dinesh sir, I can't explain what I learned today, and hopefully I'll achieve benefits from this. So Sushil, the number ending with 666, is this your number or?
yes, that's mine.
Okay. Thank you.
Sushil,
Appreciate.
can you share the number here? Can you share the number in the chat, please?
Yes, support number.
Yeah, support number. Sushil, probably once they make the payment,
Sharing is happening. So they say that every team or every business unit should have their own data and their own ownership. Means they will design their data model, they will maintain their database, they will maintain their application, everything. So it is like one subject, or you can say one uh, business unit will be like a complete company for their data, and is basically that. But this architecture, why I'm very doubtful, is because it will be good for very large, like multinational companies. But when it comes to mid-sized companies, they cannot afford. Means think that having so many different team means it is practically not possible for most of the organizations. Correct.
Right.
So so it is data mesh and data fabrics basically is in that direction. Like instead of creating a centralized data lake or creating centralized data warehouse, CDW, and application team, they can access with security and all those. So let us define the ownership. It means if I need some new data and that does not have data, so they will bring their data modeler, their application team, development team, bring the data and then provide you. So in this advantage, there is advantage because this is decentralized approach. And we know that what is the advantage of decentralization, but we know the disadvantage also. Means it's just like a country, a small country having only one state. So for them, centralization is good. But India type of country which is very large with so much population, centralization does not work. So we have to go for decentralization. So each state is owner for their own properties and process everything. So think in that way. Data mesh is basically best example is your country and state.
Yes, sir, got it.
sir, one person has asked me this question. It is actually bothering me. Using ChatGPT or any AI, can I learn Data Vault or apply Data Vault in business?
So
Is it
that is why I
possible?
said in the middle, I said like people are using. If you see, I'm doing support for two guys. One guy is in Canada and other is in US. What they do is they got the job. They are doing the data modeling and their company has purchased the ChatGPT enterprise version. So what they do is they whatever data objects means tables and all those are required for their model, they bring in one schema and they connect the ChatGPT and also they use cloud. Yeah, cloud. So with that they generate the model. But the problem is their model is like 80 to 90% it is correct. So I'm giving support to them. What my job is, they show me that complete model. I go through the model and wherever I find, okay, as per their requirement, whatever changes I have to make, I made the changes. So this type of support is provided. So it is not like chat GPT or cloud, whatever model they create is completely waste. No, I have seen the 80-85% is very perfect. But the problem is those 10-25% who will, because for that that 10-25%, if the chat GPT is not able to do in proper way, so it means it is a tough part or it is a bit complex part. So somebody who is expert in that, only he can do that. So people are doing that. They are using chat GPT in all those
So
cloud.
if you know Data Vault, using ChatGPT will be an is a tool you can use.
You
You
can
can use
speed up
it
your
better, right?
process. Like you can speed
Yeah.
up your process. Means the thing,
But
suppose if it takes 2 weeks, you can complete maybe in 3-4 days time.
but if a person doesn't know ChatGPT, for example, a person doesn't know Python, using ChatGPT, he can almost error-prone code. He can do that, but
No,
not
you
possible
can't
in.
say error. I mean, without error, there might be some mistakes. Suppose if there's an error in that code. Already, I have given you one example of how last, like the complete blackout, I think twice in 3 weeks, sorry, 3 months, because they have automated everything using AI. But what AI did is they implemented the code without proper UAT and testing all those, and suddenly it went off.
Mhm.
That is why they are hiring same employees again back to their company with 30-40% hike. So
Oh, okay, got it.
so machine is fine, machine will do, but if something goes wrong, is there anybody to take care of that? So then human is required.
Sir, we are at time. If anybody has any question, he can ask, or otherwise we can meet you tomorrow. Is that a good time? Sir has to go outside also for his time. Mamsi, you have anything?
So, Maharaj, are you covering any aspects of Snowflake actually? I mean, my colleague Sheetal also has joined in the call.
No, I'm not able to hear you, Mamsi.
No, are you covering any aspects of Snowflake modeling as such actually?
Snowflake modeling means I didn't get you.
I don't know. Is there any first? Sorry if the question is very laymanish actually. Yeah.
Are you asking about Snowflake modeling, like a star modeling, star
Yeah,
schema modeling?
is there something existing? Yeah, like Snowflake modeling. Yeah.
When we discuss dimension model, we discuss both star schema modeling as well as Snowflake. But generally in practical, we don't use Snowflake modeling because of it takes you very close to ER modeling. So because hierarchy of dimension we define, so it becomes a challenge. So that is why most of the places we use star schema modeling instead of Snowflake. But some people they are using it.
Hey, I have a question. Would you be able to provide like day-wise or the week-wise something? What exactly in the like
Yeah, we have a complete
course
schedule.
layout?
Excel sheet is there. I think, Bella,
Okay.
have you shared with it? No.
No, sir, I haven't shared, but if it is required, I can share. But I'm sure that once you go
No,
deep in
that
it,
is fine. So, Malay, actually, they would like to know like day-wise. Already we have day-wise, correct? Complete like,
so I will be sharing in the
Yeah.
group for sure then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you
Thank
can
you.
share.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Excel sheet I'll be sharing in the group. Today, probably today I'll share it.
Only request, Malai. So lot of different kind of use cases. If it uses practice for each subject, like which topic discussed. So that will be great helpful. So that will
Uh-huh.
increase our thinking pattern.
So
Yeah, there
Dinesh
will
sir
be
is
use
here.
cases,
He is
Pawan.
listening.
So I will be giving you like means from modules. Like I have a different basically I started my career with GEC, General Electric Company Transformer. So there I did around 3 years project on materials management complete. So that is one area where I have been. Then I did 2 banking project, one stock exchange project. Then I was with JPMC. With JPMC I did the 2 projects. So then Infosys I was there with Pro. So I can share like 3-4 different use cases I can give you, and then you people can work. Means practical process means use cases. It's not like just a simple retail and all those. The only thing is the problem is means that domain knowledge you have to get it. Means suppose if I am giving something like from inventory, and if you don't know anything about inventory, then it will be challenge for you. So that is why most of the trainer what they do is they take this very basic domain like retail, basic banking, because people at least know. Like people they say I know the banking domain. So I ask, you know the banking domain as a customer from front end, but what happens at the back end means inside the bank, That you don't know. So don't tell that you know the banking domain, because banking domain inside is very different than what we see from outside. Like we say, okay, account is there, deposit is there, withdrawal is there. That is fine. That is simple process we know. But think from banking people, like person who is sitting at the cashier. Means if you think from him, then you don't know. You know only 2-3 process. So if you read like banking process, or you read like suppose if you are going for, like I said, global travel expense analysis from PepsiCo. So we say what is there? Air travel is there, train travel is there, then car is there, hotel is there. That's it. But the thing is, it was only 5 mode. But the kind of data they provided there, it was like some data is there in the OLTP table of car, and also that data is there in the invoice. And then they said that it may be possible that these data will not match. Now we consider. So they said that if it is in the
Sir, I will have a second demo session in that country, sir.
no, just I'm giving like people, they say I know the
Sir,
domain.
it is 8:30 here.
Okay,
Almost.
it's fine. Okay, Pawan, we'll discuss later.
Anybody has any question? Can we like we have
Yeah, Malay, I
Kevin
have
here.
just a one simple question, Malay. Just you are showing your inputs, right? You are not showing anything on PySpark and Python, and still you are getting a lot of calls, a lot of your views. So how it is possible? Because I have attended multiple interviews, maybe 20 interviews I have given 2 months back, and everywhere the first question they will focus on Python and PySpark, and because of that, I might have rejected in 19 interviews. I'm frankly telling you.
But I
No,
will make sure that you will not get rejected
no.
in the
Just a
next
minute,
one.
Malay. What is your role you are applying for?
Yeah, actually, I was applying for something like Snowflake developer or Snowflake senior architect type of role, particularly.
Okay.
Actually, I am having
So
18
you
years
are
of experience, and initial 13 years was in like an Oracle DBA. And last 5 years, I was mostly working on the Snowflake and DBT combination most of the time. So I was applying for the lead Snowflake developer or team lead type of role most of the
developer.
time.
No, that is the problem. When you said developer, then necessarily they will ask. Developer, what you have like in my resume, I very clear that developer not use. The time you put developer, then they will basically call you for development languages, all those they will call. So if you want to be modeler architect, you be specific only modeling architect. Don't use term developer. When I give interview, I make it very clear in the beginning. 2 things I will not work. One is reporting I will not do. Other is programming. I am only data modeler and architect. That's all. So that you have to control. Then only they will.
Yeah, actually, so
basically you
what
have
has
to
happened?
set your boundary. That's why.
Yeah, actually, what has happened? I joined one. I work in a Capgemini for 17 years. Then I joined one startup and get laid off from that startup. So I was in a great need of a job. So whatever will come related to Snowflake, I
No,
was ready to
it
do
doesn't
anything.
come because when you open the scope, then so many different area. You can't answer.
Yeah. So that is the way, like I was looking in
So
the
I
one
have a
particularly.
session